record or two, we had, 8 of our other friends, everyone chipped in $100. It's like, we're starting a record label. And that was, the capital. I feel like we're getting these bands in front of people, and we're not just making a plastic CD and selling it necessarily. Like, we're really working with these bands and trying to get something good to happen for them, and we have, a killer team of bands that I think all work together very nicely. And so, this whole thing is done, in our minds, I think, in the same tradition as the labels that we grew up thinking were the greatest thing in the world. Still Flying, they have a guy who just dances. And grins and gets the crowd going. And that's Phil. Phil then moved to San Francisco, and we didn't hear from him for a while. And then when we finally got in touch with him, he was like, "Yeah, I'm dancing in a reggae band." I'm like, "Of course you are, dude. You're dancing in a reggae band." And but I probably love it. And we tracked it down and listened to it. And then the next time they came here and played, we went and saw it, and it's like, okay, this isn't a joke. There's 14 people, and Phil's dancing in a reggae band, and they're great.
This band started kind of as a joke, but it was so dancing and stuff that it was when we were first practicing, we were all dancing while we were practicing. We're like, man, this is so much fun, so much different from any other band we'd been in. And then we started playing shows, and it's just really easy for people to get into it. So we're already into it because the music just makes us dance, and the audience gets into it too. And then we feed off that, and then we get more into it, and it just kind of snowballs into this big dance party.
Saw them live. A couple people suggested them. It was one of those, everyone's hanging out in the room and they start, and all of a sudden James is singing and everyone is singing, and the people you're talking to all kind of turn to the side and everyone stops talking. It's like, okay, these guys are kind of serious here.
I don't know, there's a few different ways we do it really, and it's just kind of roll with each different way. One way is I work on kind of outline of a song with these open-ended sections and ideas that I don't think about too much, but just know that the song should develop. And then I bring what I got, just simply for guitar, for recording the vocals, with a couple of vague ideas, and then we just hammer away and just build it up as it'll start the song.
You have a band like the Yaks who literally played 200 shows in New York before ever going on tour. They just kept doing it. And they're playing 4 times a week last year, all the time. And then they went on tour, and they're still not home. They've been on tour for 62 days now, for their first ever tour.
I'm gonna love you every night and every day. I'm gonna love you every night and every day. Gonna love you every night and every day. I'm gonna love you every night and every day.
were a ton of people going up the stairs. They start playing. People start turning around. By the end of the first song or second song, the entire staircase was facing down watching the Yaks play. And so, you know, they're literally a captive audience, but they got them. Yeah. You know, it worked. Yeah.
Someone recently said that the band all singing along makes you feel like you can also sing along.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah, and the words are so simple and so repetitive that you feel it's participatory. Yeah. It's not like you're being dictated to. It's like, come on and be part of this. Right. And I think for me, it has always been an enticement, a call to arms. Like, you know, we're gonna die. Like, is this a night of our lives? Like, let's do as much as we can. You know.
Gonna love you every night and every day. Every day. Gonna love you every night and every day. Every day. Gonna love you every night and every day. Every day. Gonna love you every night and every day.
And so when John had this ready, Mahmood kind of floated it in front of us to see if there was any interest, and had mentioned to John, you know, I think these guys get what you're doing. It's worth a shot. And so it came to us, and we were obviously thrilled and heard the record. You know, we saw the email, like, this is interesting, heard the record, and I, you know, called Mahmood about 15 minutes later, because once we heard it, I don't care who it was a great record.
We make music, we put it out there. If people are into it, cool. If not, okay. You know, maybe people will get around to it someday, but we're doing it, we're getting it out here, and that's, you know, that's what we're about.
I'll working the water down underneath the flowers now too. You can count the hours down too. Life is not a dream to me. It's sound on AF1 and one don't make two. The paper chasing lead me back if I'm on the devil's track. Shake from the ice on the moon.
What we're doing is still discovering bands and trying to put them in front of people. And yeah, you know, the fact that you can get anything for free right now is obviously a huge game changer in the record industry, but not always in a terrible way. You know, if we have a new band and people are clamoring to download the record for free so they can know the songs when they go see the band, I don't really have, you know, the biggest problem with that. I want people to know our bands above everything. I would prefer them to buy the records and know the bands that way, but you know, if they're getting their record somewhere else and going to see the band and buying, you know, the vinyl when they go to the show, and it's still good for the bands. You know, we're still helping them in a way that, you know, they might not have had the help before we got involved. You have a big smile and you're rocking out to it, and, you know, as silly as a thing that is, like, the energy comes through directly to you when you're watching it. You're psyched that they're playing the songs, you know, even heavier and tighter than on the record, and the energy's there, and you're right in there with it. All of the bands you saw down there obviously have very different sounds and very different feels. But all of them are fantastic live. And that's what we try and tell everyone, that, like, just come see. If you're not sure about the record, come see this band. I promise you they'll be good.
Top of the sky, tied to my feet, tempting the enemy, I long to defeat. All suitcases and well-founded beats fill me up like a fool, deliver a fool. These are the wretches we burn.
Who knows what happens next, but I promise you that it will be incredible and entertaining and hard to miss. The story that was going to be told was that he was a rich old man that Tim sat next to on a plane who decided that he should start something with his life, and he gave us the money to do it. And he's a very grumpy dude who, you know, doesn't really like us, only really likes scotch, and, you know, when something's bad, when we have to tell bands something, it's like, sorry, Ernest, not me.